Ah, oh my days, my voice is gone. I'm gonna try my best to make this video, but I don't even have any volume in my voice. I've been singing, I've been screaming, I've been yelling, I've been applauding. It's Dream Weekend here on the island of St. Kitts, and so we've been enjoying the St. Kitts Music Festival, and we're concluding with the White Sands event at Carambola Beach Bar. And so, I'm just setting myself. I'm about to put my outfit together and go catch the shuttle, just composing myself because in a few, we're going to be experiencing a full moon in Capricorn. So we're going to quickly run down, what we are looking forward to, the forecast for the full moon in Capricorn. I'm a bit hungover, guys. I've been, celebrating a bit much, but we're gonna get into, the forecast. Now, everything just happened perfectly, synchronicities or coincidentally. I did a whole monthly forecast because I just knew when it's in the summertime, it's going down. Now, I don't want to get too esoteric, but we know that in the summertime, it's considered almost like a death phase or a death stage. Some of the mystics view it as getting closer to the sun, and we know that when we get closer to another large, intense force, it could cause catastrophe, could cause death, i.e., getting closer to the sun. It's hotter, and things could wilt down, and the intensity of the sun could overshadow and overpower the forces of earth and nature in a certain extent. I don't want to get too technical, guys. I didn't learn astrology from a classical way. I learned hood astrology, and also from an agricultural standpoint. And so we know that here in the tropics, in the summertime, it's hot. It's hot in the tropics, right? And so, hold on, there's a little ant running around the camera. It's hot, right? And so you look at the grass, all the grass is a bit dry, it's not really green and lush, and so things die down, you know what I'm saying? And so there's a certain level of not putting too much energy into things and just sort of enjoying what we have already harvested and accumulated. Anyway, so we did the whole video, so you guys could go check that out. But just tapping in, because full moon in Capricorn could be quite intense, especially if you weren't on the right side of the energies in the Gemini season. A lot of it is going to be exposed. Capricorn deals with having something to stand on, how you're seen in the public arena, whether you are a person who take care of your responsibilities, duties, obligations, or a person who doesn't, right? And so it's kind of one of those, push and pull where Cancer wants to feel comfortable, safe, home. However, Capricorn is like, okay, in order for you to have that, you got to go out and work. You got to be defensive. You got to be a bit cold and stoic and do whatever it is you have to do. It's cardinal, so they initiate and create new ways of that stability, right? And so, if buts or babies, right, Capricorns are going to go out and get it done. And so in order for us to have that, comfortability that Cancer wants, there's certain duties and obligations that we should have been, tending to, i.e., watering those seeds, taking care of those, things that are necessary for our manifestations and for us to attain our goals. Now, in this society that we live in, is quite difficult because we're under a certain level of bondage where we have to go out and slave for these materialistic things and to maintain in this modern society. However, we also know when we're slightly giving too much energy to that system versus giving the energy to our internal systems and our internal needs and trying to manifest them externally. And so the Capricorn energy, the full moon is like, okay, we got a balloon and it's full with air, and hopefully you could just have a nice balloon and it could float away, and you could just enjoy the full moon. You know what I'm saying? For example, we're having the festivities here, And on Monday, Tuesday, a lot of people aren't going to be able to go to work. A lot of people aren't going to have money to pay the bills. It's the end of the month. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are going to be shaky financially. And so they're going to, have a chaotic full moon versus the persons who've been budgeting, you've been saving, you've been, acting accordingly, not going too much, balancing the energies, the forces, the influences, not overdoing anything, not overindulging, not overspending. You know what I'm saying? And then you could have a good weekend, and on Monday, when we wake up, it's not too chaotic, right? Just as a small example. Anyway, I'm gonna go get myself together. Depending on what house you have this full moon in Capricorn in, that's the area of life it's going to affect you. So you got to go look in your chart and see how it's, aspecting and angling your natal alignment. Or your natal chart. But for the most part, full moon in Capricorn, it's a full moon, so we got to go chill out and observe the moon and relax, right? However, you should have been handling your duties, responsibilities, and obligations in a fashion where when the full moon comes around, you don't have to be putting too much force, too much of your power, too much of your influence into any given situation, especially when it comes to your direct duties, obligations, and responsibilities, whether that's your kid, your career, your job, your creative gifts or talents, or whatever thing that you're known for in the world, right? For example, me doing my videos, how could the full moon come around and I haven't made a full moon video? You know what I'm saying? So I got to come out and handle my duties and responsibilities and obligations. So when the full moon comes around, it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody good. You're on the right side of the energies. You look like you're upholding your task, you know what I'm saying, in the public arena. And everything is Gucci, you know what I'm saying? But some people are going to be washed up. Now, for me, I could get washed up too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to go to this party now. I could go get washed up. You know what I'm saying? It's at the beach, so I could get washed up in some currents. But I know that I got to stay on my one-twos. You know what I'm saying? I want this emotional comfort and stability. You know what I'm saying? And the polar balance it out. All right, guys. I think that's enough. Hope you enjoyed the little monologue or conversation. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if you're ready for the full moon. Make sure you're following the channel. Give this video a like, and I'll see you in the next one. We also have some hard hitting things in the skies happening right after this full moon. So guys, be careful, right? That goes out for me too, but be careful. Take care of yourselves. Mars is in Gemini, and so that's hot air. You don't want to get into too much argumentative energies right now. A lot of hot air, hot-headed energies, and so for the most part, we got to keep it PG. See you guys in the next video.